the fact that we haven't seen any trades of significance yet is a sign of what? The fact that we may not see them, or that Sunday's games might prove to be some team's last stand to not sell off? I mean, what do we have here? Or that Sunday's games could lead a team to sell off? What do you think, Ian?
I think, Rich, it's more of a timing issue because we've had some. I mean, we had Yannick Ngakoue get traded. Usually that would be trade deadline day. And instead it was like a week before or 2 weeks before that. We saw Marcus Golden get traded. We saw Carlos Dunlap and Everson Griffin, two, older dudes, but,
right.
Relatively big-time pass rushers get traded. It's really just the trade deadline. I'm not going to say meaningless because I think we'll see some deals, but it's different this year because it felt like the trade deadline was moved up a week because everyone needs 6 days to clear COVID protocols. So, clearly the Lions and the Seahawks were planning on their pass rushers being there the following week, so they had to trade for them this week because it takes so long to do anything. So I think the timing really is kind of weird, and that just changes the overall dynamic of the trade deadline. I still think we'll see probably a couple moves, but it's also different. I mean, this is not the greatest economic market. Obviously, most teams, let's say, not all teams have had fans. So not a lot of people want to take on salary. I think that's probably another thing too.
Interesting. So that you play that all in there. Is it possible the Patriots are sellers? Do you think?
I know they've had conversations. I don't get the sense that they're going to just trade a bunch of guys. I also don't know, who would they trade? I mean, the Patriots always do something, so my guess is they probably will. I'm just, looking at their team. I mean, Edelman had surgery today, but he wasn't going to get traded anyway. They're, struggling on the offensive line. I mean, I don't think they're going to trade a quarterback. They don't have enough receivers. Stephon Gilmore is the only name that's interesting, but if you're trading Stephon Gilmore, that basically says, all right, we are not winning the season, definitely. And whoever trades for him is probably going to give a second-round pick. I don't know. Unless there's some major injury that comes next week, I'm not sure I see that either. I don't know. I just think it's a weird year, but I don't think the Patriots are just going to start selling like the Cowboys tried to do.
Well, I mean, Chris, didn't you say that Gilmore?
Yeah, his house is for sale, Ian.
And put a deadline. He put a deadline on it.
House up for sale.
And he put a line in. His broker put a line in the.
Yeah, Tuesday 5 o'clock. They want all offers.
Want all offers by Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Is that not the deadline time? Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Or is it 4?
It is the deadline.
It
is the deadline. I mean, yes, I'm with you on all the dot connecting.
Yes.
This was my Monday morning.
I love it.
I'm not sure who's going to give up a premium pick and take on, $7 million left and whatever you have to pay him for a new contract in very uncertain times, knowing the cap is going down next year. Not saying it's impossible. I mean, he is an awesome player. I think it's more of a, this might be his last year with the Patriots kind of deal rather than he might be traded Tuesday kind of deal.
Right, because I guess if he walks, the Patriots get a third-round pick, which is another reason why that Ngakoue trade was so remarkable is, Minnesota gets a 3 from Baltimore, so instead of the 3 being a compensatory pick, the 3 is Baltimore's, and Baltimore knows they'll get the 3 back if Ngakoue walks, and all it cost him was a 5 to get a premium pass rusher just in time to send in Big Ben's direction. I mean, that's a huge addition. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.